everyone, my name is Nishchal Purohit. I am a technical lead in mindZvue, and today I am here to help you with the Agentforce for developers. So, for this Agentforce for developers, we have created a very interesting and detailed installation or help guide for you, everyone. So, this has been an internal initiative which we have been working on. So, in this in this document, we have discussed the sections in which we will tell you how to install the Agentforce for developers and VS Code, and then how you would be able to run it or automate your code and all your process using Agentforce for developers. Because as we are talking more in Agentforce, so it's now has been also introduced to follow the good practices rather than we just go in the chat GPT or any other open source AI chatbot and pasting our code just to get some good result from those prompts. So we can do that in-house using this Agentforce for developers. You can always check to the help guide of the Salesforce itself. But this is something which we have created for our developers so that they don't need to figure it out and do the homework from start. So we as a developer can go through this document and get it installed in our system and keep it running. So if we'll go more in detail, so we have added all the screenshots and how would you be able to install it and run it in your org basically. So these are the steps which you can follow. But anyhow, I will be showing you a quick demo. So how you will install and how you would be able to run the Agentforce for developers in your org. So first of all, what you have to do, you have to log in with your any org. So for my org, I am having a dev assist org, in which basically you have to just go on the setup. So in setup, you have to just search for the Einstein setup. So if you'll search with the Einstein setup, something, this window or pop-up will come up. So by default, this is inactive, which means like you need to toggle it to mark it on, which means like you are allowing Agentforce for developers to be working with the VS Code. So this is the first and the foremost important step which you have to follow. And then later on, let me just pull my VS Code as well. So just to save some time, I have just authenticated my org. Basically, you can also see that in the help guide document as well. But here, basically, what I have is in this Agentforce. So, what you have, first of all, for example, if you are new to this Agentforce for developers, so you have to quickly install few extensions which are part of the Salesforce package. So, if you will search with Salesforce expanded. See, so this is the first extension which you will get. So it says Salesforce extension pack. In brackets, it says expanded, which means the Salesforce has introduced few more packages as well, which also includes Agentforce for developers, which is required to install it if you will try to work with Agentforce for developers. So this is something which you can also install it directly by searching here. If I'll type Agentforce for developers, it will it will seen here. So you can directly go here and click on install, and it will be up and running in your system. Also, there are certain details and the overview about this feature, which you can also go through this as well. But in detail, we have already explained in the documentation. So you can also check there as well. Okay, so once that is installed, you will see at the bottom, right bottom, there will be an icon will appear. Okay, so this will be the Agentforce icon and a status icon, you can say, but this will be disabled if you have not authenticated your org. So for me, I have authorized my org, and later on, this icon is visible because in my org, I have also enabled that Einstein setting, which I just showed earlier. So if you click on this icon, Agentforce icon, it will show you a few options. For example, status is ready, which means we are up and ready with the Agentforce for developers. So we also get some options like disable Agentforce for developers, which means like you will, if you'll click on this setting, it will disable that setting on the org as well. So you won't be able to use the Agentforce for developers anymore with this particular org. And there are also certain shortcuts which you can modify based on your needs and based on your settings. So you can just go through it. And later on, what you can do, you can just go to this Agentforce icon, which is there on the panel. So there are certain prompts basically which are already predefined, which you can run, and based on that, it will show the response. So for example, if I'm having any Apex class, I'll just try to open an Apex class, not this one. Not getting the correct. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this looks good. So anyone which is editing this video, so we need to directly start from that section from Agentforce to this particular searching with the Apex class and opening this Apex class. Just a keynote. Okay. So I'm still continuing with the video. So as you can see in this Apex class, there are no explanation to the code is there, and there is no certain documentation, which means like this will fall under the PMD issues. If you'll extract the PMD issues via code analyzer, you will get n number of issues in this Apex class. Okay, so how can the agent force will work to help or resolve the existing issues what we have? And these are certain pain points for the developer where, for example, if I'm new to this project and new to this Apex class and their entire process, so I don't know why this campaign management batch has been added, what this class is doing basically, and in this query locator, what kind of stuff I'm retrieving basically in my socket query, and in the execute method, what operations I'm trying to perform based on the certain business logic. So if I'll go through this, it will definitely take me more than one day to read all the logic and understand, and then um, build my own logic or modify this existing class on top of it. So it will take some time, right? So just to resolve that, we have the agent force here. So you don't need to go and search for this logic in any other open source AI tool. So you can just go here, and there are certain out of the box features which is already predefined in this agent force for developers. So you just need to press the backslash, and it will help you with certain prompts, predefined prompts, which are explain, test, and document. So basically, explain means, so if I'll click on explain, so once I'll click on explain, it will explain the entire code which is currently there on my screen. I'll just give you a quick example. So if I'll click on explain, not any other command apart from this, what this agent force for developer will do, it will check, okay, if this is the current open Apex class, which I want to get the explanation for every method and what this class is doing, and see, I've got the response. So it says this Apex code is a batch class that processes leads and creates campaign members based on certain conditions. Here are the step-by-step explanation of the code. See how beautifully it has been just generated all the result what I was expecting for from this Apex class and this method. So once I'll read all the explanation what Agentforce for developer has suggested, I believe that I would be standing at that point where I am clear with all the questions and the logic which I have to implement in this existing Apex class. So I don't need to go and search for any documentation or for any developer, search for the developer who have worked on this Apex class. I just have to write a single line of prompt which is already predefined, and it will help me with everything what is there in this Apex class. Okay, so moving next. So there are certain more prompts, for example, for this document. So most of the times we get the PMD issues for the documentation, for the missing documentation. So that means in this Apex class, there are certain documentation part which we also have to cover if we want to resolve all the PMD issues. So this is already covered in the predefined form, or I can say the predefined prompt, where we can just add the backslash in the document. And if I hit enter, it will take some time. And then in the Apex class, you will see it will document it everything. So there are certain two steps. If I want to just add it, I'll just copy it and paste it somewhere else. If not, then basically I have this option just to insert code at cursor. For example, if my cursor is at particular this line, what it says, uh, if I'll say at this line and I'll try to move it, so it will directly paste the code here. What is there in this? What it has suggested me. Okay. If not, and if I'll try to ask the Agentforce that can you document all the can you document entire Apex class? If I'll add this prompt, then I need to use this toggle button, use the entire file, which means not only a single or certain lines of code it will read the entire file which is there. So if I'll just add this prompt, let's see how this Agentforce for developer will respond. Okay, so as a result, you will be able to see that it has generated the proper documentation of this Apex class. So whomsoever will be working next after your changes, they would be aware that, okay, these are the certain changes, what has been done earlier, and that method works like that. So that new developer don't need to run the explain prompt again. So it would be very easy for the developers to read it out loud very clearly and start working on it. So what I'll do, if I'll just erase it everything and I'll just drag it here, so you will see the entire change, what is there, along with the existing code has been replaced with the proper documentation. So this is something which is the capability of Agentforce for developers. Apart from that, there is also one feature which is test. Let's just see if I'll send this command backslash test, how does this will respond? Okay, so as you see, so if you are having any Apex test class for this particular class, campaign management batch, so you can just copy this test methods, and if you'll paste it, I think it will cover all the scenarios, the edge cases, the positive and the negative unit testing for this particular Apex class. If not, then you need to tweak some of the code here and there, and then I believe that it will resolve it, because it gives the accuracy of giving the response as much more high. I can say it's around more than 90%. It's very accurate, so that you receive a good quality of a response from this Agentforce for developers while creating the test classes. So using certain prompts, you can just generate the test. Either you can generate, for example, just for example, This is an existing Apex class. I'll just move to the new Apex class, which is not a batch. I'll take this class. What I'll do, I'll ask the Agentforce. I'll first clear it out, what all response the Agentforce has given me earlier using this button. It's the clear current chat. Now in this class, I will ask, can you create the Apex test method for the method name this in the current file? I have just given a random prompt to this Agentforce for developers, and let's just see how this will respond. It will take some time. Great. So as you can just see, I have just requested this Agentforce to create an Apex test method for this particular method, and I've provided the method name as well. So what this Agentforce did, it read the code, what is there in this particular method, and based on that, it has created in certain data, some test data, and then it has just called that particular method from the class. So it's very easy and straightforward. But the similar thing you can also achieve using this generate test. So in this generate test, let's just cancel it. Anyone which is cutting down or editing it, I don't want to directly jump on to this one. I'll just continue with this one. So just a note. Okay, so in this existing Apex class, what I'll do, I'll just first erase the prompt what I have shared. I'll just click on use entire file and I'll ask, okay, is there any PMD issue in the current Apex class? If so, then please provide me the details. I've just asked for the list of PMD issues which are there in this current Apex class, also with the details. So as you can see, there are certain PMD issues which Agentforce has identified, and you can also read it loud. This is the first one, Apex CRUD violation. The Apex class does not enforce user access to the this records user service presence. This is the second violation, Apex sharing violation, and this is the Apex talk. So based on that, it has responded. Also, it has fixed the code for the PMD issues. So as you can see, in this query, it was saying it was not running under user mode. So it has is added and certain more changes and some fixes, some Apex CRUD violation, Apex sharing violation has been now introduced. Okay. So this is how you can just work or play around with the Agentforce for developers. And definitely this will ease out your life so that you will save a lot of efforts creating or resolving the PMD issues or creating the test classes and fixing the test classes. Just by giving few prompts, you would be able to uh, make it and resolve your issues without putting lots of efforts. Now, what I'll do, I'll just move ahead for this generate test. So we can create the test classes or the test methods using the prompts, but this is the second method from which basically, if I'll want to create any Apex class, what I have to do, I just have to select the Apex class. I just have to select the Apex method. Sometimes this don't work because of the server issues, but if you will be able to see that, then you will be able to select the Apex method. You will be able to select the test file. If not, then you can create the new test file as well for that particular Apex class. And once you'll click on it, you will generate, you will see the entire code here in the panel. Same goes for the LWC component. So for example, if you have any existing LWC components, for that you can just create the zest file. So the zest file is something which is more important now. So at least you can just try creating the zest file and working on the zest use cases or the testing use cases for the LWC component. So this is how the Agentforce for developers work. There are few other settings as well. I'll just take a time to go back to the documentation. You can read it, and whatever I have just showed you in the demo, you will get to know everything in this documentation as well. So I was just explaining about this LWC zest file. So if you'll click on it, if you have any component, for example, if this is the component, if you'll select it and create generate, so it will take time to generate the generate the zest file. And once that is generated, it will show you that it has been generated. If you will accept it, it will show you the end result. If not, then you can regenerate it as well. So once accepted, you can just click on done and you can see that .test.js file will be created in your local library. Also, one more important thing to note. So we are having a telemetry settings as well, along with this Agentforce for developers. So basically what this telemetry setting do. So this is a setting in which basically you are allowing Salesforce to access all your metadata records so that it can improvise their Agentforce for developer solutions so that they can bring up some new enhancement on top of it so that they can just read what all your metadata has in your current org and what you are doing with those metadata. So this is based on certain a project level or in your user, basically in your org level. You just need to enable or disable those setting. It's totally based on the preference. So if you'll go on this setting, just click on it. It will land you to this page. Search for the Salesforce DX VS Code core.telemetry.enabled. This will give you this option. And from this option, once you'll click on telemetry, you will get this option as all, and you can mark it as off or disable. And you have another um, way to do that using the terminal. So if you run this command in the terminal, it will also disable that telemetry settings. So that's all from this demo of the Agentforce for developer installation and help guide. So that's it from the video for this installation guide for Agentforce for developers. If you need anything else, then feel free to ping or drop an email. Thank you so much.